Carles Puigdemont withdrew his petition today to vote by proxy in the upcoming debate on choosing the next Catalan president. Does this mean he intends to return to Catalonia? Hello and welcome to Catalan News. The deposed Catalan president is in Copenhagen for a second day. After meeting with Danish MPs, he made it clear that he is not ruling out returning to Catalonia in the coming days in order to be sworn in again as president. If he does so, he risks being detained and jailed because he has an arrest warrant hanging over his head in Spain. The Spanish government intends to prevent the possibility of him setting foot in the country. Rajoy's Home Affairs Minister even said that the police will prevent Puigdemont sneaking into Catalonia inside the boot of a car. In our show today, we'll get you the latest on this issue, and we'll also give you some figures on how good or bad Barcelona's reputation is worldwide. Carles Puigdemont is still in Copenhagen. He arrived there yesterday without knowing whether Spain would reactivate a European arrest warrant held against him. In the end, the Spanish Supreme Court decided not to do so. This means the deposed Catalan president can walk freely throughout the European Union. Returning to Catalonia is a different story though. While in Denmark, Puigdemont said today that dialogue and not arresting him if he returns is the only way out of this crisis.
Carles Puigdemont has once more called on Mariano Rajoy to sit down at the negotiating table in order to find a way out of the Catalan crisis. The deposed Catalan president met some Danish MPs inside the National Chamber of Representatives in Copenhagen. After that, he talked to the press and sent a clear message to the Spanish government.
If I entered now in the Catalan parliament, I will be arrested. And that not will help to solve the conflict, to solve the problem. What's the most important tool to solve the problem? Dialogue, negotiation.
A parliamentary session to pick a Catalan president is to be held in Barcelona by the end of the month. The candidate for president is Puigdemont. While a few days ago it seemed as if he would try to be sworn in at a distance from Belgium, now all options are open. Officials in his candidacy have been ambiguous over the issue in the past week, and today Puigdemont himself didn't rule out turning up in Parliament.
I'm working to be there in order to start a debate with the rest of the representatives in our Parliament.
Yet he risks arrest and jail if he sets foot on Catalan soil again, as the Spanish judiciary accuses him of rebellion, sedition and misuse of funds, which carry sentences of up to 30 years in prison. And while the judge hasn't issued a new European arrest warrant against him, the Spanish government is determined to prevent him from making it all the way from the Catalan border to the Parliament.
Que la frontera a cubrir es muy extensa, que no solo hay grandes vías que la penetran y que son más fáciles de controlar, sino que hay muchos caminos rurales que se puede entrar a través de helicóptero, que se puede entrar por un ultraligero, que se puede entrar por barco.
¿Y si se cuela en el maletero del coche, aparece en el Parlamento y la detención se tiene que producir en esa cámara?
Nosotros vamos a procurar que no pueda entrar ni en el maletero del coche.
The Spanish government also made it clear that Puigdemont will receive no special treatment. The Catalan Parliament President, Rajoy, is likely to announce the exact date for the investiture debate on Thursday. From that day on, all eyes will be fixed on Puigdemont and the Catalan border.
Puigdemont met some MPs in the Folketing, the Danish parliament. After the meeting, one of them, a member of the Red-Green Party, said that Spain continues to reject the option of dialogue. He also commented on what the deposed Catalan president told them during the meeting.
Señor Puigdemont dijo muy claramente, es importante para mí, que para él la independencia no es la única solución, o sea que él está dispuesto a discutir otras soluciones de esta crisis. El problema es que el gobierno español actualmente no quiere entrar en diálogo y no lo ha querido durante bastantes años.
All scenarios are possible ahead of the upcoming parliamentary session to pick a Catalan president. The president of the Catalan chamber, Rajoy, has nominated Puigdemont as candidate for president, but what are the chances of him being reinstated in his post by the end of the month? In order to look into the different possibilities he has both in Catalonia and abroad, we speak now to Ismael Peña. He is a political science professor at the Open University of Catalonia. Hello, Mr. Peña, and thank you for joining us.
Hello.
First of all, what are the different possible scenarios for Puigdemont being sworn in as president?
I think there are three main scenarios. The first one is that he comes to Barcelona and he gets elected as the next president of the Generalitat de Catalunya. The second one is that he comes to try to be elected, but he gets caught and ends in prison. And the third one is that he becomes afraid of the consequences of being here in Barcelona and just remains in Brussels and tries to be elected from Brussels.
How likely do you think the first scenario is, especially considering what the attitude of the Spanish justice has been so far?
I think it's very difficult to say what is the likelihood, because we know that the Spanish government will try to get him and will try to punish him for what he's done in the past. But we also know that the president is very bold and is daring and is trying to put some pressure on the Spanish government. So I think that he will at least try to be invested as president here in Barcelona.
You also said that he could be sworn in at a distance, but is that even possible? Are there any other cases of people participating in politics at a distance?
I think there's a difference between what the law says and what the law means in managing a country or whatever from another country. The law says that you should be present here because you should be ruling your own citizens directly, but we know by the use of ICTs that there have been people that are voting or giving the voice to other spokesmen that have been able to do their work on as representatives of the population from other sides. So we know that this is feasible, and it's only an interpretation quite loose from the law. Another thing is that representing people, not only managing a country, but being the representative and talking to people, is that easy from a distance, or just being present in the nearby of your own people. That's the tricky part.
The other option you mentioned is him returning and being arrested. What do you think this could imply for the political situation in Catalonia, and also for the political situation in relation to Europe as a whole?
We have a strong tension here between what we consider law and politics, which has been, I would say, the main focus of politics in Catalonia for the last year and a half. So one thing is that the Spanish government is trying to enforce a law that many think that it's not what they say that it is, that they are being they go really beyond what the law says. So they will really try to, just get over his rights to be able to put their own agenda on a political basis. But on the other hand, having an elected president being put into prison against his own rights, the right to be elected and the right to be able to be a president and to perform his own job, that would be, I think, a smash on what the law is in Spain, how unfair it is, and I think that at last it might raise an issue in Europe, not only in Spain or Catalonia, but the Tribunal of Strasbourg, etc. We at last say that Spain is not really doing very well.
Thank you very much for being with us, Mr. Peña.
Thank you.
Let's talk now about the Catalan capital, Barcelona, because today we learned that it's one of the most attractive cities in the world when it comes to investing and doing business, according to a report. The paper concludes that it is among the top 10 most renowned cities worldwide, but far from the best, which is Milan.
Barcelona is one of the cities in the world with the highest reputation. That's according to a report from the Barcelona Observatory, made up by the City Council and Barcelona Chamber of Commerce. The Catalan capital is one of the world's most attractive cities and a focus for foreign investment, especially when it comes to technology. The report points out that Barcelona is among the top 10 cities with the most foreign investment projects in the past 4 years. Another advantage is the rental price of offices and shops. Despite an increase in rents in recent years, they are still lower than in other European countries, which continues to be a pull for many companies. Indeed, last year was good economically and the prospects for the city are positive.
El 2017 ha tancat amb un creixement per sobre del 3% i el 2018 el comencem amb perspectives positives.
Despite the political situation and events such as the terror attacks in August, the deputy mayor of the Barcelona City Council noted that the city remains attractive.
Barcelona té un potencial enorme que ens col·loca, que no ha desaparegut, que continua sent-hi i que ens col·loca en una situació privilegiada.
2017 was also a remarkable year for a key business area in the city, tourism. Barcelona Airport is already the 7th airport with the greatest volume of passengers in Europe, behind Madrid's airport. The report also points out that two of the best business schools in Europe are in Barcelona, IESE and ESADE. According to a list published by the Financial Times, the Catalan capital is in fact the only city with 2 business schools on the list for 5 consecutive years.
Moving on to economy, the ongoing political conflict between Spain and Catalonia has been a hot topic of conversation in the business world over the last few months, with many major companies even moving their headquarters out of the country. But according to a report released today, the majority of Catalan small and medium businesses have fared the political storm well. According to PIMEC, an association of small and medium firms in the country, the situation had no effect on 3 out of 4 such companies last year, and only 18% suffered reduced sales as a result of the ongoing situation. The president of PIMEC highlighted the solidity and power of the Catalan industrial sector, stating that 2017 was a good year, with a 61% increase in overall sales. This trend is expected to continue into 2018, which is good news for the many businesses with less than 250 employees in the country. Continuing with economy, we now talk about tourism and the cruise industry. Barcelona continues to reap the economic benefits of being a major hub for cruise ships. In fact, in 2017 alone, nearly 3 million people set foot in the Catalan capital, having disembarked from one of the many cruise liners that dock in the city's port. And according to a recent report, many of them are big spenders. Cruise passengers that came to Barcelona in 2016 spent an average of €518 per person, an increase of 20% compared to 2014, according to a study carried out by the International Association of Cruise Lines presented today. This trend is expected to continue into the future. 73% of this spending stayed in the Catalan capital. The report also estimates that cruise activity creates around 9,000 jobs for people throughout Catalonia, 6,800 of which are in Barcelona. When winter is over, it will be time for spring music festivals throughout the country. Primavera Sound and Cruïlla are among the top ones, but also Sonar, kicking off in less than 5 months on June the 14th. This edition will be unique, as its music will be heard very, very far from Barcelona. The festival will send sound waves to outside the solar system in order to establish extraterrestrial communication. This is only one special fact for a special edition of the event.
Sonar, Barcelona's iconic music festival, is turning a quarter of a century old. And as with past editions, the event seems to get better and better, its finger on the pulse of the best music tendencies. That's why Tom York, Radiohead frontman and music behind Atoms for Peace and various solo projects, has been added to the lineup. The musician already performed in Barcelona with Radiohead at the Primavera Sound Festival in 2016. This year, the date to see him on stage for Sonar is Saturday night, June 16th. But this isn't the only big name to look forward to. Now's your chance to see Gorillaz confirmed along with LCD Sound System, Mode Selector, Bonobo, Diplo, Laurent Garnier, and many more. From June 14th to June 16th, a total of more than 140 shows will take place on 9 different stages. Sonar itself has 2 different personas: the fun in the sun of Sonar by day and the underground revelry of Sonar by night. For musicians, Sonar Plus D also presents creative activities and conferences. But make sure to get your tickets early. Last year, the festival made its best sales ever with over 123,000 attendees.
We speak again now about one of the most intense disputes involving art in Catalonia in the past few decades, the Sixena case. On December 11th, the dispute over the Sixena artworks reached crisis point when all but one of the works were removed from Lleida Museum in northern Catalonia and returned to their original home in the autonomous community of Aragon. It became a symbolic action for Spain's stripping of Catalonia's self-rule, and today the saga continued. The last Sixena artwork was removed at 9 in the morning before beginning the journey back to the Sixena monastery in Aragon. After a long and bitter dispute, a judge from Huesca finally ordered the artwork's removal last year, and in December, the transferal of most pieces was carried out. Catalonia always maintained that it had bought the works legally in the 90s, but after the sacking of its culture minister after Spain's enforcement of Article 155, its position was weakened in the debate. And now in the Lleida Museum, all that remains in the artwork's place is an empty space where the religious artifacts once were. We're done for today. But before we go, we leave you with images of an event held recently in inland Catalonia to pay tribute to 2 rural officers who were killed exactly 1 year ago while at work. They were both shot by a hunter in an incident which touched the local community. Bye for now, and see you tomorrow.
Recordo els meus grans companys que van perdre. Alliberarem.